You're listening to Inside the Locker Room with Wimp and Barry Sanderson on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa.
Rain likely much of the day. The high tomorrow in the mid-70s at 75. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Inside the Locker Room with former Crimson Tide basketball coach Wimp Sanderson and his son, former SEC and ACC assistant basketball coach Barry Sanderson. It's time to take you inside the locker room on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
And good morning and welcome into the Thursday edition of Inside the Locker Room. 205-342-9904 is the phone number. Hope everybody is enjoying this cooler weather. It's a little bit cooler out there. We're supposed to get some rain tomorrow, but it's a nice change from the 97, 98 degree heat that's out there. So we'll get out and enjoy the weather. The app, the Tide 100.9 app, has the app message. You can send app messages to us on the app, but download this app to your smartphone, and you can take us with you anywhere you go. You want to email us? The email address for the show is wimpandbarry@yahoo.com. You want to dial us up? Once again, it's 205-342-9904. Before we get started, we want to thank Yellowwood Pressure Treated Pine from Great Southern Wood. They're our title sponsor here for this 7 o'clock hour. And always remember, if you want to build fence, the deck, the pergola, there's only one choice. That would be Yellowwood. Go to yellowwood.com to find the dealer closest to you. And always remember, if it doesn't have that yellow tag on it, you don't want it. We've been kind of flipping back and forth, but Dad's more comfortable doing the blue plate on Friday. He's looking for more time to study. So we've talked about a few games this week. That blue plate will be done tomorrow, and we're due to hit this week, and that's brought to you by Chuck Norwood and the Remax Realty team down in Gulf Shores, Orange Beach. Buying or selling, Chuck Norwood is your guy. 251-948-1212, or go to chucknorwood.com. We got JC. Yeah. Will join us at the bottom of the hour. At the top of the hour, Holt off to a 2-0 start. So we want to recognize some of the local programs here. They got homecoming. A lot of people that went to Holt. They take on Oak Grove. We'll have Coach Brian Newton join us at the top of the hour. Good morning, Dad. How are you this morning?
Doing okay. I'll jump around from thing to thing. I'll jump from one sport to another, but you just have to listen to what I have to say or close your ears going, but because that's what I have to do. I have a lot goes on before I get on this show. Louisville, Tennessee, Texas are three good thoughts about blue plates. I'm not sure if I want to use any of those. Those are three that come to mind. I don't know what the Texas line is, but I like the Louisville line at 28. I like the Tennessee game at 7.5. So we'll see some more about that. If you've got ESPN and can't get it, and I can't get the Alabama game with DirecTV. So be darn sure and take a look to see that.
You mean to see if I can get you some tickets?
No, I ain't going to get it.
I can get you some tickets.
Florida is going to start DJ Legway, starting quarterback that got injured, and he'll be starting him. The reason I say that is because it's against Samford, and hopefully Samford does well against Florida, although I like a couple of people at Florida. In the Final Four in 2031, I probably won't be around here, but it's been picked for Atlanta. Garth and I talked yesterday a minute, and we were the first to give the information that basketball teams will have to give the availability report. That's for gambling. Everybody that is available to play, or not available to play, I should say, you have to notify publicly that those people are not going to play. Penny Ford fired 4 of his coaches at Memphis. Rick Stansberry, he used to be the head coach at Mississippi State and jumped around at Western Kentucky and so forth, was one of those guys that were fired. Of course, we're standing in here now looking at the Florida's. LSU's lost a running back out for the year. Looking at the Florida's, LSU's, and Clemson's trying to decide, if they're going to hang in there good enough to get into the 12. Braves won 5-2 against the Rockies tomorrow, Saturday. Pardon me. There'll be two events honoring Coach as he has the field named after him. They will have an event at 2:30 at the Walk of Champions on University Avenue, right across from where my building was when I was coaching there. And the athletic director will speak as well as the president will speak. And then the second ceremony will be at the halftime of the game with South Florida. The coach will be honored at the halftime, so those people that did not get to the Walk of Champions event will be able to see that. So nice honor for him. I wanted to be sure that people on our radio show knew when that was going to take place so they could make their plans and their arrangements as best they possibly could. Outside of that, I don't really have a whole lot of things to talk about. We welcome your calls. JC is always very good. So if we give good questions, and we do, we'll see what happens with JC. And, of course, we have a high school coach at the top of the hour.
Yeah, you've been giving out the questions of the year. So I know you.
So anyway, the Florida State Athletic Director says he's confident despite the 0-2 start. We'll mention that. And also we'll mention that Dabo has said about his team that he feels like he has a good team, that they'd want to react well. As it stands today, my opinion is, as it stands today, right now, we have going to have Miami in the final 12, probably. Clemson certainly has a shot there out of the ACC.
Wow, you already predicted the final 12 after one game.
Sure. So Miami, I just said I thought Miami had a good shot. I think you would agree to that. I'm saying they're in, but I think you would have a good shot. I don't think we'll have as many as 4 there. I don't know if we'll have 4 out of the SEC or not. Probably will. Going to be a judge ruling, and I'm not going to get into that because it changes every 15 minutes. Another ruling about and departing from the NCAA with college athletes and college athletics. The judge ruling today about it. No use me. I don't really understand all of it to start with, and it changes every 15 minutes. So I'm not going to try to get in here on this radio show and tell you what's happening because I don't know and they don't know themselves. But the money that's given the athletes, involvement, the rulings, these kind of things continues to go from day to day and from talk to talk. NCAA is all everybody's in a tizzy about them and the way they have reacted to things, although I thought the guy that has taken the job has really done a pretty good job trying to figure out things. Very, very hard behind the scenes that we don't know about, things that come up and that we don't realize just as radio people or as people who enjoy listening or talking to our show. So that's all I got, son.
Twitter coaches are out. Chase, you know what Twitter coaches are, the guys that coach on Twitter. You got 2 different, I got one saying Florida State needs to recruit high school kids. They got to get high school kids that love Florida State and develop them. Then the other side of Twitter coaches are saying that Dabo's got to go the portal. So the Twitter coaches got 2 different deals speaking there. There's a deal with the NCAA. They're discussing giving college athletes 5 years of eligibility, letting them play 5 and still having a red shirt. So
they won't stay around that long. They're good.
Yeah. So you'll have to run some of them out of there. They'll be wanting to come back for a 5th year, and you won't want them to. Tom, who's on hold, I guess AL.com, they listened to the Coach. I actually listened to Coach DeBoer's show last night, and it's a good show. They had Sab, the transfer from Michigan. Thought he did a good job. Seems like a really intelligent kid. But AL.com, everything does not have to be a story. Like Chris Stewart slipped up and called him Coach Saban. one time, and he said, "I'm sorry. I knew I was going to do this once," and Coach DeBoer laughed about it and said, "Well, he obviously didn't mind being called Coach Saban." That's the headline of the story in AL.com. Coach DeBoer called Coach Saban humorous radio show mix-up. Come on. That's not a story. It's not a headline, and it's not a story that he called him Coach Saban. But Tom's right about that. All right, we'll take the break. We'll get to Tom when we get back from break. We look forward to having JC at the bottom of the hour. We want to thank 2 Minute Truck. If you're looking to make a local move, out of town, out of state, or you just need stuff moved around the house to get ready for the holidays coming. They were talking about people decorating for Halloween the other night, which is, I guess, right around the corner. Then 2 Minute Truck are your guys. Give them a call today. They'll take great care of you and your stuff. They'll make a stressful deal and make it seem easy. 205-247-5050. That is 2 Minute Truck. Movers who care.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Thursday morning. 63-year-old Henry Eford has been charged with attempted murder in the shooting of a man in the 37,000 block of Sheffield Courts. That happened over the weekend. The incident was sparked by an argument which left the victim with several non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. Eford is being held in jail without bond. The Tuscaloosa Violent Crimes Unit continues to investigate. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news. It's free throughout the day. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Happy Thursday to you. Well, we are just gliding right along in the area. Looking at the construction zones, may slow you down just a touch, but not much. And traveling on 2059 eastbound, you've got long-term road work between Western Bypass and Joe Malisham. Also moving on McFarland. Both
live from Walk On Sports Bistro for Hillcrest Huddle. That's Brent Jones each week as the Hillcrest Patriots march towards the playoffs.
Road tripping, business travel, or bringing your car in for repairs. All great reasons to rent a Toyota at Tuscaloosa Toyota. You can rent the latest Toyota models for a day, a week, or a weekend. Every Toyota rental car comes with 24 hours roadside assistance.
At 3 on your home for Alabama football.
Presented in part by BMW of Tuscaloosa and by Pearl River Resort in Choctaw, Mississippi. Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The sky mostly cloudy today and tonight with periods of rain likely. The high today 84, tonight's low 67. Tomorrow cloudy and much cooler. Rain likely much of the day. The high tomorrow in the mid-70s at 75. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Never miss a moment of the action. Download the free Tide 100.9 app today.
Welcome back to Inside the Locker Room. We want to thank Yellowwood Pressure Treated Pine from Great Southern. If it doesn't have the yellow tag on it, you don't want it. Steve sent me a direct message. He uses Roku and Sling TV out here in California. Wow, Steve, you listen to us out in California. You up early and can get Bama football and Braves games. I don't know. I like the local. Maybe you can get the local news and all on Sling TV. But DirecTV, you're getting a call from me tomorrow if we don't have this fixed. And I'm going to ask for a humongous discount or I'm gone. All right, get to the Yellowwood hotline and get Tom in. Good morning, Tom.
Morning, Barry. Morning, Coach. How are y'all?
Oh, we're okay. Tom, one thing I wanted to mention, because you're probably my best golf fan, is that Justin is not going to be on the president's team. He and one other, I know the other guy's name, but I forgot. He did announce that was announced yesterday by Jim Furyk. Also, Justin did announce that he's going to be a new dad. And so they kind of fixed their team and left him out. And that's the only thing I wanted to tell you before I forgot it.
Oh, Tom knows that, don't you, Tom?
I'm sure he does.
I did. I had read where they were expecting and that Jim had talked to him and told him he wasn't going to choose him. Okay. And Justin made a statement saying he understood why. And I thought he was class about it. And I was glad to see that he said he wanted to concentrate on doing what he needed to do to be in position to be in team golf. And that really hurt his feelings that he didn't play well enough. He didn't blame anybody but himself. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
And I thought he had some really nice statements, and congratulations to him and his wife on expecting. But I'm going to tell you something, Coach. You watch Justin. Him and Jordan Spieth, I tell you what, they're close, and they like to go down the road together. I just believe that.
Jordan's hurt right now. And
right.
He's had an operation on his hand. And I knew when I said that, most people knew it, but I thought since you was a golf fan, I would have announced that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So
I called in, though. I want to talk about Penny Hardaway. My Lord.
What's his name that was let out?
Stansberry.
Stansberry. He is the one that got the guard from Alabama over there. Paid him $50.
Right, and he got a bunch of other players too. Somebody told me he's responsible for everybody on that team this year.
Well, they had, he's responsible because he did what he did at State. He used a lot of money.
Right.
But back before money was legal. So he got the money together. So I guess you would say he is responsible pretty much. So he got the money together to give these guys. And he also talked, the head coach taking him. So
he's got Mike Davis over there, so I'm assuming he's.
Yeah, I didn't see Mike Davis's name on that.
Yeah, watch. He'll be an assistant here before too long, I'll bet you. But Penny Hardaway, I know some people have been through there. They say that's a circus going on over there.
That's what I wanted to bring up, but I wanted to throw this out there. Can I tell you what I suspect?
What's that?
They got a new athletic director at Memphis. I suspect that guy came in, and it's been noted for a while that Memphis basketball is out of control. It's no doubt about that. And I think he came in and he said, you know what? You got a budget and you got to live in it. And I think this is a temper tantrum by Hardaway to threaten to take the program down. I think they're in dangerous territory, Coach, if you ask me, in my assessment of it. And I've been watching Hardaway. I'm not a fan of him. I think he's like a narcissistic individual. And I wonder what y'all thought.
Yeah, I think probably he is that way. He probably doesn't really study the game that much or pre-plan for each game much. The guys that he fired, I know one of them doesn't either. So I think I had one of my Darby Rich, who worked for me, played for me, was the strength coach there. He's at the University of Texas. Was over there on 2 occasions. So I don't want to say what Darby said, but they have struggled with pretty good talent. Memphis is a very, very. They need Calipari back. He's at Arkansas. So, they're a very, very good basketball city. Very good. Love basketball, and it's a shame they can't get it going.
Yeah, we had Tom accidentally dropped there. Tom, feel free to call us back. All right, get back to the Yellowwood hotline and go all the way out to Gordo, Alabama, and hear Abe. What's up, Abe?
Hey, what's up, coaches? I got a couple of games I like for the Blue Plate, and I wanted to tell.
Please help him, man.
Coach,
please help him.
I got one I believe in. It's Kansas State at Tulane, and I like Tulane plus 9.5. It's the old home underdog, And I tell you what, now Tulane, they lost their good coach Willie Fritz. Houston snatched him up. But they got this guy from Troy, John Sumrall, who went to Grissom High School up at Huntsville. He's an Alabama guy, and he played college at Kentucky, played linebacker like from 02 to 04. But I like that guy. I just don't believe Kansas State is going to come in there and beat Tulane by 10. at Tulane.
Oh, I think that's a gamble.
They're all a gamble.
Well, hey, Coach, no risk it, no biscuit.
That's right. You got to swing, baby.
Hey, and I'll tell you another one, Coach, and I ain't trying to pick on Mississippi State, but I saw this one last night. Look at this. Mississippi State kicks off at 9:30 at Tempe, Arizona, and they're, I think right now, a touchdown favorite. So I'm going to go with the Sun Devils, another home dog. They're pissed off.
Well,
and you got an SEC.
Sun Devils are favored by 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's close.
We're going to go with a brand new coach on the road. That's a gamble.
Yeah, that's Lebby. Ain't Lebby at Mississippi State?
Yeah, it's a gamble.
But now, hey, Coach, I'm just telling you, Kansas State going to New Orleans to play Tulane at Ullman Stadium. Don't you think Tulane will be more excited to play Kansas State than Kansas State will be to play whatever it is, American Athletic?
Right before they get there, they'll be reading a book.
They're going to be out on
They'll be reading a cotton picking book. They ain't going to be excited. Excited ain't the right word for that. I can give you 4 games that I'm studying. I don't have one.
Why you but write that down. We're gonna check this on Monday. I'm gonna watch that Kansas State game now. Abe,
I just said it was a gamble, son.
It's on ES. Well, they're all a gamble. I'm just gonna see if Abe was right. You ain't gonna be able to watch it because it's on
all
ESPN.
you want to do is bust me. So
you're not gonna be able to watch it. It's on ESPN. But
hey, Barry, when you call DirecTV, give them a good tail chewing.
I can't wait.
He'll have to get in line. I got 4 games. I think that he'll have to get in line behind me, and I do a pretty good job if I want to chew on.
Well, and what's terrible about it when you call DirecTV, that little old gal that answers the phone, she ain't got no control over nothing.
I'm on that loyalty list. I don't talk to her. I said, give me somebody that runs the loyalty list.
Yeah, you getting mad and chewing somebody out you got nothing to do with. They're making like $12 an hour.
Right. The guy that runs the thing, he's laying in his swimming pool on a float sipping iced tea.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I got 4 games.
Somebody fanning him.
4 games. You think I ought to give them now, Barry?
Well, you can give the games you're looking at. Yeah, Abe trying to help you out with 2 games.
You better listen to me, Abe. Mine's not a gamble.
Huh?
Oh, you got the money shot.
Oh yeah,
I got 4 games. I hadn't picked one yet.
Yeah, I hope he's not going to SMU again.
I picked one. Yeah, I won't give it right now. Then I'll wait.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, he's looking at Auburn. That one's intrigued him. I'm not sure which other.
Well, yeah, you got 1 game out of 4. Congratulations.
Well, I know you're looking at Auburn.
Well, you said that 3 times.
And you're probably
Auburn.
Looking at Tennessee. You like Tennessee because they like to score a lot of points and run it up. And I tell you, of course, you're never as bad as you look.
There's 2 other games.
Maybe it's a trap game but South Carolina looks so bad, and they're only the line's 10 at Kentucky. Abe, you like that one?
I do. I think South Carolina's going to be sad. And see, didn't Kentucky? They boat raced Southern Mississippi pretty good. I think Kentucky's got a pretty salty defense. But I'll let you guys go. But remember, pull for the Green Waves. That's Tulane and Gordo.
I'm going to save my cotton picking money.
Thank you, Abe. Hopefully, Kansas State stays near the French Quarter. That would help Tulane's cause there. That's 11.
Those 2 games are Abe's guy. It's a gamble. I got 2 others better than that.
Which one?
Well, there's 4 good games.
Is there?
Yeah. Auburn's 1, Tennessee's 1, Texas is 1, and probably the best one is Louisville.
Tennessee right now is 8.5. 8.5.
7.5.
Well, it's going the other way. 8.5. That's why you need to get them early. All right, we'll get to break here, and I think Oklahoma will boat race Houston. But every time I say that, I'm wrong.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Houston's not good. And Oklahoma is at home, but that's a night game. SEC Network, we won't get it because we got DirecTV, but we can listen to it on the radio. All right, we're not going to be able to get any games this weekend. I think, let's see, what channel is that Michigan game on? It's on Fox.
It's on Fox.
We'll get that one. That'll be the only game we get. We get Arkansas, Oklahoma State. It's on ABC. But
you won't get to see Nick Saban's halftime deal.
Do you think they're bringing back former players for that?
I don't know. They're going to have a lot of former players at the Walk of Champions probably, and I don't know if they'll come over to the game. And I don't know that they will bring out. I don't know if there's an invite, and I know very little about it. For former players, I would imagine former players would be welcomed, but I don't know. Yeah,
Coach DeBoer said unfortunately they won't be able to take part of it because they'll be going through meetings.
If
and
they were honoring Coach DeBoer and Nick was the coach, he wouldn't let them out of the dressing room either.
Yeah, so well, it's not the dressing room. They're going to be at 2:30. They're going to be eating pregame meal.
I know that. He wouldn't let them out either. You know that.
But Chris Stewart called him Coach Saban at the show, and now that's a story.
You think there'll be any fussing at all in the Wisconsin game if a guy's offsides 2 times in a row?
You talking about the line?
Yeah, I mean, anything.
People complaining, like I listen to Corey Miller and them, people complaining about Alabama winning 63-0. I mean, you're not going to play a perfect. Well, they move the ball. Well, teams are going to move the ball. I mean, they're not going to get negative yards again. They move the ball. They had it 22 plays. All right. Did they score? I mean, nitpick to death. I mean, you're not going to shut them out. You're going to fumble.
They wouldn't know a basketball from a football.
You're going to fumble every once in a while, and you will get sacked. Guys going to get beat off the line every once in a while. It's going to happen. You're not going to beat them 100-0. You listen to Tide 100.9. It's the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Happy Thursday to you. Well, we are just gliding right along in the area. Looking at the construction zones may slow you down just a touch, but not much. And traveling on 2059 eastbound, you've got long-term road work between Western Bypass and Joe Malisham. Also moving on McFarland.
You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text support to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Inside the Locker Room with Wimp and Barry on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to Inside the Locker Room. I want to thank Yellowwood, pressure-treated pine from Great Southern. If it doesn't have the yellow tag on it, you don't want it. They're trying to say this Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift thing was a hoax, and they have it set for them to break up on the 28th. Will Taylor be at the...
It wasn't no hoax.
Will Taylor be at the game tonight?
They said it was a hoax just to make you read it, but wasn't no hoax.
They got them both richer. JC, is it a hoax? Is Taylor and will Taylor be at the game tonight? I think they're playing in Kansas City. Will Taylor be there tonight?
I'm pretty sure she will be. I mean, that's the best dude she's ever been with.
They're acting
why would they break up?
Well, they said it was all a publicity stunt to make the NFL more popular, and then to help Kelce with his popularity, and it helped her get football fans listening to her, so it helped them both, and they're going.
I'll tell you one thing: whoever did her makeup fixed her body. Needs to fix everybody's body.
Really?
Oh, come on,
JC.
Like are you doing a comparison of Taylor Swift then and now, Coach?
Oh my God!
Hey,
next subject.
I kind of agree with you.
When they got that cotton picking knife out,
oh my God,
and put her to sleep and fix that thing. Come on. The number one, whatever you want to call her in the world.
We're headed down a road we don't need to be going.
Y'all need to record this.
JC, also, as a father of a son, I have a son. Now, he's only 8, and he tries to play quarterback, and he has to wear glasses. You're not going to win at South Carolina with a quarterback that wears goggles. You're just not. He's got to put some contacts on, JC. I'm sorry. I'm
Wait
sorry.
to see. I know it was a bad.
JC, I had a buddy blowing me up. That's why I texted you on Saturday. Gosh, you saved that guy some money. I told him don't touch it. Robbie Ashford, is he not better than that guy, JC?
He is. But Robbie, I mean, look. I could have made I could have made a strong argument for them to put Robbie in that game because Lenore's. It looked like. I mean, like the coaches keep saying he got sped up a little bit. It did look like that, but it was at first I was like ready to just give up, and then I went back and watched the film, and most of what they did offensively was just like, there's a guy open and you missed him, or there's a play that's going to work, and one guy on the offensive line turns a dude loose. I'm willing to give it a chance this weekend, but I'll be quite frank with you. If South Carolina plays like that all year, they won't win a game in the SEC at all. I mean, it won't be, and most of them won't be close, including Vanderbilt. So they better fix it, because that's unacceptable. But, you look around, sometimes teams have games like that. Missouri beat Middle Tennessee, who ended up firing their coach last year, by that exact same score at home in Game 3 last season. So sometimes you get into a dogfight.
Yeah.
Is LSU, Clemson, and Florida out of the 12 already?
Oh, I never thought LSU. I wasn't buying them.
I thought they played pretty good, though.
But I mean, would they? How bad would they beat Southern Cal last season? I mean, that's the thing. LSU's living off last season, but it shouldn't be a shock they lost the opener. They've lost 5 in a row, so credit them for scheduling tough, but they don't play well. Certainly LSU has a shot, man. I mean, if they go 11-1, they're obviously going to be in the playoff. If Clemson goes 11-1 and wins the ACC, they're in the playoff. Who else? Florida State? Did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, they're out.
Or Florida? Florida ain't going anywhere.
Florida might win 3 games.
Florida. The only thing that's going to save Florida is if this freshman quarterback plays well against Samford, and I think they'll beat Samford. And then I think they have A&M and Mississippi State. If they can turn, and then UCF, if somehow they can find a way to go on a 4-game winning streak, which they're capable of, because I think Miami, I don't think anybody expected Miami to play that well and be that good, but they are. Then, you're sitting at 4-1, and then you got the gauntlet coming up, but can you steal a game against LSU at home late in the swamp and get to a bowl? With a true freshman quarterback, that changes the narrative a little bit. And then, you got Florida State at the end. If you're the Gators, it's in Tallahassee. But to me, Florida State's been less impressive than Florida. I think they got better players than Florida, but I think they've been less impressive than Florida. But, yeah, Florida's probably they need to try to focus to get to Birmingham for the Birmingham Bowl. Florida State, I suppose theoretically, if the ACC teams take a bunch of losses, they get to Charlotte and win it, they can still win it. But if somebody wrote that, they can still get to the playoff. I'm like, technically, does that team look like a playoff team? No. If you're an Alabama fan, you probably sit there looking at those 5 guys that went to Florida State and said, man, we dodged the bullet. Pretty glad they left, right?
Yeah. When you're sitting around, I hate criticizing players, but I mean, you're at Florida State. What makes you think that DJ Umdelele, whatever his name is going to be? You saw him at Clemson. You coached against him. Do you think you're that much smarter than the guys at Clemson? You're going to be
outbid, son.
But that guy, JC, is he good? I just don't see it.
Hey, he's one of those guys that coaches sort of fall in love with. And, I think here's the thing. 2020, go back to 2020. That season was fool's gold for a lot of offensive players because nobody played defense. And in that season, as a true freshman, Trevor got hurt, and, he was very good against Notre Dame. Notre Dame won the football game, but he was very competitive, and they were down to Boston College, I think, by 18. He led a valiant comeback, so everybody's fired up. I mean, and heck, they won the ACC. Well, they benched him for the ACC championship game, but they won 11 games a couple years ago, and he looked good at Oregon State. The difference is, you know, Oregon State in the Pac-12, again, there's not a lot of defensive problems. You know, in the ACC, even at Boston College and Georgia Tech, you have way more physical players. You probably are a little faster on defense, to be quite honest, even at BC. BC is just so well coached. And then, so you almost you got to be accurate when your sky's open because you don't get that many opportunities, and he just isn't. And I've just seen him in too many big situations at Clemson and also now to think, you know, that guy probably made a big mistake leaving Oregon State. But, you know, I kind of felt like everybody left Florida State, including their head coach, who was a graduate. I don't wish them well because I think that's like oh, my God, they lost their conference. So we're just going to abandon everything we worked for and go get paid. And to me, that's what's wrong with college sports is loyalty is just ridiculous. So I don't wish him well. He's making good money at Florida State. He got his big brand name school back. And we'll see what happens if he gets benched or not. But, you know, and I'm not one that criticizes players either, but, you know, I sort of know how much he's making, and I wish I made that much.
I mean, I kept thinking there's no way Mike Norvell's going to run him out for the next series, and he just kept running him out there. Who's the backup over there, JC?
Oh, I know his name. That Brock Glenn, maybe is his name.
Yeah,
they were chanting for him. I don't blame them, but I mean those issues are worse than quarterback guys. I mean, have you seen their defensive line? I'll never forget this. They go on the broadcast in Ireland 2 weeks ago, and everybody's talking up their D line. I'm like, well, they lost Jared Verse and a lot of dudes off that D line last year, but they got these names: Marvin Jones Jr. Just because his dad was a great NFL linebacker and he was a 5-star and his name's Marvin Jones Jr. and he was at Georgia does not mean he's an elite player right now. He's got a lot of work to do. I mean, their D-line has gotten pushed around twice by two teams that I think at Georgia Tech under Brent Key and Boston College, now, those are offensive line schools. Georgia Tech's always going to have a good O-line as long as Brent Key's there. Boston College always has a good O-line. They can recruit O-linemen. But they just got manhandled. I mean, their athleticism and quote-unquote talent meant jack squat in those two games. Yep. So they got a lot of work to do. So, you know, Memphis is coming in. Memphis is a really good group of 5 team. You lose this weekend, man, it's back to the Willie Taggart days.
Yeah. That.
Well, people are criticizing Alabama for scoring 100 points. It's pretty stupid. The only thing that'll make me interested, I think here's what happened. Getting ready for the game, away from the field, Karen DeBoer did a great job of getting his team ready with a little girl who had cancer.
I think that was after the game. Wasn't that after? I think that was the next day.
It was before the game, Barry. Before the game. You always try to change stuff I say. It was before the game. Okay. Look it up and apologize to me.
All right.
So anyway, the two things that he did to get them ready about the custodian who had been there so long, she started not to even come, but she did. But I think on the field itself, I don't think he does a whole lot. I think he doesn't handle the defense at all, which is fine. He doesn't do anything with that at all. And I think occasionally he'll make a call on a play, but basically speaking, the two offensive guys handle the offense.
Yeah.
And I think that he, in getting the team ready to play, he did that away from the field. But I think going on the field, he doesn't. Now, my interest would be if they go to Wisconsin and a guy jumps off sides 2 or 3 times, does anybody get chewed out?
Yeah, he's got he's not Nick Saban. I mean, he's not really he doesn't chew ass, I guess, like Nick Saban does.
Yeah.
He is a great offensive coach, though, Coach. So I
know
think
that.
I don't know that he'll dialing up. I love their D coordinator, Kane Womack. I mean, he's Dave Womack's son. Dave used to be at South Carolina. I thought Kane was great at Indiana. I thought he was great as a head coach at South
I think they're really good, Coach. I'm just trying to, to give somebody something to talk about.
Hey, look, it's the head coach's job to get you ready to play, especially first game. And look, I'll give Billy Napier and Mike Elko and who else lost? Even Brian Kelly is hilarious. A pass because they played legit teams. You play good Power 5 teams in your opener, you're going to lose sometimes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But everybody else in the SEC, with the exception of Shane Beamer, had their team ready to play. And I think people aren't talking about Alabama enough because, look, there's a difference between Western Kentucky and Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Oh, sure there is.
I watched Arkansas play Thursday night, and Arkansas Pine Bluff, I think Hoover High School could beat them.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, I was over at Little Rock. I know.
I mean, my gosh.
Yeah.
So, and Murray State has 62 new players. Jody Wright just took over. Missouri played them. Ugly game. So everybody took care of business, and that's not always easy.
I think this, JC. I think there's going to be a tendency to really want to run the score up. They look at Oregon, and Oregon didn't play well. They slid a little bit, could have gotten beat, but didn't, of course. But didn't run up the big score like the 11 teams in the SEC did. And so they dropped down some. I think the coaches and the ADs are going to murderize everybody they can.
I don't blame them because it's a selection committee, and those big numbers look a lot better.
Yeah.
But I did think, though, Western Kentucky's obviously overmatched. I just thought that was impressive. I expected Alabama to win the game. I don't know that I expected 63-0. I mean, that's that one stands out a little bit more than maybe Auburn or Arkansas or Ole Miss. I know the Furman program pretty well, and they're a proud program, and they win. They got a good coach. So 76-0 against that bunch is pretty good. But, still, it's an FCS school. But I tend to agree with you when you look at kind of the scores. I think some of these coaches, too, are kind of doing the old Steve Spurrier thing when they used to accuse him of running it up. I mean, he'd be like, well, I have my fourth-string quarterback in there. They have to get reps and run our offense. It's your job to stop it. So if teams are still throwing late with their backup, I don't really have a problem with that. I don't think it's a lack of sportsmanship when you're playing walk-ons and your fourth teamer and calling a pass play on 3rd and 8. I mean, it's I think that's probably pretty good because your backup players have a great week of practice next week because they're excited because they got to play and score a touchdown or whatever. That makes your whole organization better. So I'm with you. I think because of the playoff, they'll start doing that more. But then also, I think it also helps you be a better team when you play better teams because, you have that good week of practice. Your whole organization's feeling good. You don't have to deal with any disgruntled guys because they all got to play. They got there, try hard on the scout team, that kind of thing. So I think it's committee. It's positive to blow people out.
Yeah, the committee, though, you have to be very careful. Like you said, though, that stupid committee, they're going to look at numbers. They more so than they're going to look at the opponent.
Oh, well, I mean, and that's dumb. I mean, like
sure
it
is.
Furman. If you're deciding between Ole Miss and Bama, Furman's an FCS school. Probably lost all their good players to the portal. They only got 60 scholarships. Western Kentucky is a really good. Heck, are they in the American now or still in Conference USA?
Yeah, but they got a terrible
really
quarterback. Their quarterback's awful.
Well, they got to have a quarterback because they're going to throw it a million times again. So with Tyson Helton, but that's. I don't know. I thought it was an impressive win by the Tide, and probably a little more impressive than some of these other schools.
JC, 11 o'clock on Fox, Texas. I remember last year at Game 2, Texas came in here and really made Alabama look bad. So they've been working on this game. all summer. And so Steve Sarkisian may be the best play caller in college football. Line 7.5. How you see this game, JC?
I think Michigan's going to cover. They're going to try to dirty the game up. And when I say dirty, I don't mean they're going to play dirty. They're going to try to line up, run the ball, out-tough Texas, which is how you beat Texas. So I think they'll cover the 7.5, but I don't see them winning, especially based on – can't base a whole lot on last week. I mean, Texas blew out Colorado State pretty good, and Michigan was struggling with Fresno in the third quarter. I think, quite frankly, it's a coaching mismatch. If Harbaugh had been there, I'd probably say different. But, it wouldn't shock me to see Texas cover, but something tells me it's going to be a close game just because it's at Michigan.
Yeah. Any other games? I know Dad's looking for a blue plate to get a winner here. We're looking at Auburn and Cal. That game's 2:30. It's going to be. It's not going to be quite as hot as it normally is. The line currently is it's been 13.5. It's 13 now. They're saying this might be the best receiving core that Auburn's had down there in a while. So I would think they'll score some points, JC. It was an ugly game last year. That's maybe why Auburn even be more ready to play. Your thoughts on that game?
It's crazy. This is an ACC-SEC matchup, right?
It really is. I didn't think
That's nuts. If Auburn can stop the run on defense, it's going to be a long day for Cal. But Cal has an elite running back. Justin Wilcox, that's a terrible job because they don't care about football out there at all.
Yep.
In fact, they work against it, some of the faculty and stuff. But he's done an admirable job getting them competitive, and certainly there was last year. I don't think Auburn's got the problems on offense they had last year, and the receivers are good. I thought Peyton Thorne looked pretty good, but look, Auburn also did not play the best team out there, right? So we'll see. I love Coleman, the freshman receiver, though. I think at home, man, Auburn – 13.5 seemed low to me, so it gives me pause, how good really is Cal, because sometimes even a West Coast team that doesn't have expectations, we don't know. We just have no idea.
Yeah. Well, the best game on there is Louisville.
UCLA.
Yeah,
I'd say you.
Yeah. The other game, well,
Louisville's the best game, Barry.
Is
you ain't listening.
I hear you, Louisville.
28.
Kentucky at home. Now they had their game shortened. They won 31-0. South Carolina obviously not as bad as they looked, I don't think. On South, that line's 10. So I would lean to Kentucky.
Yeah.
That which means South Carolina will probably go in there and cover because you're thinking they're so bad and they probably got their guys' attention. How do you see that game, JC? You should know that game inside and out. And what's the history of that?
I think Carolina's going to cover. I mean, it's
really
even when they should win the game if they play like they're capable of. Yeah, Carolina's got
at Kentucky.
Hey, look, I watched some of that Kentucky game, guys. We're going to find out if Brock Vandergrift's a good quarterback this weekend. Southern Miss is not. I mean, Curly Holman is not walking through that door. Brett Favre is not walking through that door. Southern Miss is not. I mean, they're not good at all. And then they only played 25 minutes. Kentucky's O-line versus South Carolina's D-line is going to be a heck of a matchup. That game, every time it's been in Lexington, I think the average margin of victory the last 20 years has been 4.5. So it's all Kentucky has beaten South Carolina a lot. They've never blown them out, though. They blew them out once, and that was the last game of the pandemic the night Shane Beamer was hired. Mike Bobo was interim coach. I think Carolina had 38 scholarship players available, and they lost 41-18. Other than that, it's usually low scoring. It's usually a nail-biter. I don't expect anything different. I don't know about hammer, but the under of 49.5, I think is what it is. I'd probably go with that, too. But that's way too big of a spread for Kentucky and Carolina. I think I think they're really. It sounds crazy to say. I think they're evenly matched teams.
Wow. JC, what is you don't have to tell us what, we had Max Howell on yesterday. He told us Shedeur Sanders is making the most.
$4 million.
$4.7 million, I think he said yesterday. What is the going rate? Because you watched over the weekend, man, if you didn't have good quarterback play, like that quarterback for Texas A&M, I can't remember last time Texas A&M had a good quarterback after Johnny Manziel. What
there are people talking about him winning the Heisman.
When I saw how he reacted on game day when that guy did that magic trick on him, the way he was talking, it was like, what? And then he went out and played horrible. What is the going rate for like a top 10 quarterback now? If you're a top 10 quarterback this year, what is the rate for
It's not $4 million. Shedeur has a lot of like regular NIL stuff. And he's Deion's kid, so I mean, it's just like Arch Manning's probably rolling in money because he's Arch Manning, and that matters. I mean, like it or not, it matters. Your sons of celebrities and former players. I mentioned Marvin Jones Jr. earlier. He's probably, because of his name, a little bit higher of a valuation. Shedeur may be making more than Carson Beck. But Carson Beck's making quite a bit. I saw he signed like a close to a 7-figure endorsement deal in Atlanta the other day. Life's good when you're the Georgia quarterback in that state and you're up for the Heisman and all that. But honestly, I mentioned DJU earlier. It's probably a little sad for a really good quarterback. And I don't think DJU was worth it. But for a really good quarterback in the portal, you're probably looking at $900 to $1 million to 1.1. Just to be completely honest with you, and with quarterbacks specifically, guys, they're worth every penny. Think about how many transfer quarterbacks have won national titles, Heisman trophies, whatever. Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts. I mean, all these guys have had, and then they go to the NFL, get drafted high, and tend to do pretty good. So transfer quarterbacks, there is a track record even before the portal of them having great success. So they're very valuable. So they're actually, that part of NIL, they're actually worth it.
Yeah, I agree. But you got to get it right. That's like Coach Saban said on that show. If you buy the wrong ones, you're out of luck.
Yeah,
or whatever he said.
Oh, I agree with him now. The GOAT was dropping some wisdom.
Yeah. All right, tell everybody where they can find you, JC.
All right, go to the App Store, to Google Play, download the Chiefs Sports app, enter our Fab 5 challenge this week and win some gift cards. Go to the Chiefs Sports Network. We just dropped a new JC and Morgan this week where we talked about the SEC, some winners and losers, some boss men. Mike gives these award called the Boss, and a lot of good players, and we preview this weekend. So go check that out.
Thank you, JC.
Thanks, JC.
Thanks, fellas.
All right. I will have to admit, I was wrong about that little girl. It was done on Friday, so you were 100% right. I was wrong. I was not wrong about Pat McAfee, but I was wrong about that one. So I'll give you your flowers on that. All right, we'll take the break here. We'll get to Coach Brian Newton. We went a little bit long there, so sorry, Coach, but we'll find out about the Holt Ironman. I got people texting me, telling me what year they went to Holt. So we got a lot of Holt listeners out there. So get out and support this program as they have homecoming this weekend. You listen to Tide 100.9. It's the home of Alabama sports.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In the NFL season opener scheduled for tonight, you've got the Chiefs hosting the Ravens in a rematch of last year's AFC title game. Kansas City looking to start their quest to be the first team ever to win 3 straight Super Bowls. In baseball games of note, the Orioles lose to the White Sox 8-1. Chicago snapping a 12-game losing skid. Despite that loss for Baltimore, they're still in first place in the AL East. A half game up on New York with the Yankees losing to the Rangers 10-6. Guardians fall to the Royals 4-1 as Kansas City snapped a 7-game losing skid. The Twins fall to the Rays 9-4, so Cleveland's lead in the AL Central is at 4.5 games on both Kansas City and Minnesota. Dodgers lose to the Angels 10-1. LA's lead atop the NL West is down to 4.5 games on San Diego, with the Padres edging the Tigers 6-5 in 10 innings. Mets won their 7th straight, beating the
Resort.com of summer. Damn, New album Rise and Fall available now. Scotty McCreery Live.
Inside the Locker Room with former Crimson Tide basketball coach Wimp Sanderson and his son, former SEC and ACC assistant basketball coach Barry Sanderson. It's time to take you inside the locker room on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to the second hour of Inside the Locker Room. I thank Andrew Kniffer. Andrew is my Allstate insurance agent. Let him become yours. He's out at 4705 McFarland Boulevard, Suite 3 over in Northport. Don't just pay the bill. Know exactly what you got. Do you have enough coverage? Can you back off a little bit? That he can look at everything for you, get the best deal for you. Give he and his staff a call today, 205-722-9201. Andrew Kniffer, Allstate Insurance. All right, we love to support the local teams. Holt Ironman got homecoming, I believe, is tomorrow night. They're off to a 2-0 start, and we got I believe in his second year, Coach Brian Newton. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Hey, Coach. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're good. Just appreciate you being on with us this morning. Winning kind of helps everything, doesn't it, Coach? When you win, you guys are off to a 2-0 start. It just seems like it helps morale around the school. The food tastes better. Just talk about your team and how excited you are to be off to a 2-0 start.
Absolutely, yeah. There's when we're able to win and you're at a program where they haven't done a lot of winning, it's just a totally different atmosphere. Kids are excited about coming to practice, coming to school, walking around the hall with their chest out. It's the community's proud, a lot of positive things from the alumni and all that stuff. So winning certainly helps, but yes, we're super proud of this team in the start, but got a lot of work to do and a long season ahead of us. So
we got homecoming. Tell us a little bit about the festivities. I know a lot of people in this community. I've had people texting to me this morning telling me what years they graduated from Holt. So hopefully you'll have a lot of people come out. Tell us kind of what's going on with the homecoming, everything tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. So actually, homecoming's a little different at Holt. It starts today for us as far as everything. So we have our parade today this afternoon. It starts at Soma Church at 5:30 today. And after the parade, we hopefully the weather cooperates. We'll have a big bonfire out back at the new high school. And after the bonfire, we got the homecoming dance, which is, usually on Fridays, but here it's on Thursday nights here. So
you gonna let the players go to the dance?
Well, we kind of talked about it after practice yesterday about, hey, look, let's have fun. Let's go to the dance. But we got to remember now the main thing, there wouldn't be a, homecoming if there wasn't a football game to go win. So, so we really emphasize to our kids to have a good time. But, when that dance is over, we're not going out to eat and all that stuff. We're getting in the bed and, keeping the main thing, which is focusing on winning a football game.
Sure.
You'll have a little bit of rain tomorrow. I guess you already know that, more so than we've had. We hadn't had much rain in a long time, but I kind of checked the weather before we got you on, and it's supposed to be a pretty good rain tomorrow afternoon, so I don't know if that'll affect you or not. What kind of, is this a young team? Is it a medium team of seniors and sophomores? What kind of team do you have?
Oh, yes, sir. So we have well, first off with the rain, it's, I've been checking that nonstop, as a coach, man, you live and die with the weather.
Yeah.
So, but, we're keeping an eye on that and, trying to, have a good plan, working some wet ball drills today in our walkthrough and, just things like that. But, we have a really young team, and that's what's so exciting about the future for us is that I think we have 6 seniors this year, and so I would say 4 of those guys are probably starting. So most of our guys are made up of underclassmen, and our junior class we have 16 kids in that junior class, and that's just a impressive number for us. So team's really young, and most of those guys that's out there played last year as freshmen or young sophomores, and so they're a year older, and our team's young, but we're much improved from last year, that's for sure.
Talk about a little bit. We're talking with Coach Brian Newton out for the Holt Ironman. Talk a little bit about your parents, the community support there. It takes a village to have a program, obviously, to go, and you guys are off to a great start. But talk about how important the community and the parental support are for you guys at Holt.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things, I try to tell people is that, Holt used to be a really good football program in the community, and everybody kind of knew about the Holt Ironmen, and over the last 2 decades, that's kind of dropped off. But some of those people that made Holt great at one time, they have been so supportive of me and my staff, and just trying to get Holt back to the Ironmen that they knew. And so, man, we've had so many people. Just this week, we had a former alumni come spend 15 hours in the blazing sun pressure washing the entire visiting bleachers, all because during our work day, he was there and he just was looking at it and said, you know what, I want to do that. And I was like, man, are you kidding me? And he was like, no, I'm going to do it. And him and his family spent 15 hours just pressure washing our visiting bleachers this week, which we've had so many people.
Well, Coach,
I'm telling you, he would.
Take this opportunity. We all need things. Even Hoover High School needs things. But, kind of what does your program need? And maybe people here listening in the community, they're willing to help Holt. They want Holt to be successful. I know a lot of people that went to school. They're very proud that they went to Holt. What are some things maybe your program there needs that will kind of, help your kids and make it more of a first-class program there?
Yeah. So, unfortunately, like for us, like I think our just most major need we have is the just getting a turf field like the other county schools have. Like we're the only school that does not have a turf field, and so like we have to practice at our stadium, which is off campus, so we have to bus every day to go to practice. Okay, and then we're practicing on our game field, which is a grass field, and beating it down. So it's it's tough just transitioning, like having to run off campus all the time to go do laundry or go let somebody in to fix something or things like that. So I think hopefully getting our new stadium, which is in the works, hopefully coming, I think that's obviously a priority. But for us, our things are just like getting the kids all the things the other schools have. This year we was able to do a fundraiser and raise money to get helmets, really nice helmets for our kids. Because when I got here, some of the helmets should have been punted out a long time ago. Yeah. And we were just able this year to get every kid in a quality helmet. But equipment, I think, is our biggest need, like shoulder pads. There's some shoulder pads laying in there that Wimp may have used if he would have come through. So,
were they leather? Are they leather?
No leather helmets, but some of those pads were definitely outdated, and so I think that's kind of our biggest need this year going forward. Is we want to try to get some shoulder pads, more quality ones for everybody, and the community does such a good job here of feeding our kids on game day. All the different local churches get involved and help our program. So our kids have a pregame meal on Friday and Gatorades and waters throughout the week and on game day to just keep them hydrated. But, we're just blessed to have the community being so helpful for us and people willing to help. It's been a real blessing.
Well,
Go ahead, man.
Well, I just think it is you guys do deserve a turf field. County guys got a turf field. The other county schools Tuscaloosa County has got everything that they need. It is, and I'll say it for you. You guys you don't want to have more than everybody else, but at least you need to have the basic deals. They're having to bus to practice those kids. That is difficult, but I know you're making the most of it, and And so hopefully the people in the community will step up, Coach, and get you guys what you need. Go ahead, Dad. I'm sorry.
Well, no, anything. I thought maybe you might want to get your 5 leaders on your team and get them to tell the other players on the team, let's don't go to the dance tonight. Hey, you can't do it. The 5 leaders.
Hey, you won't have to buy a corsage. You'll save some money. You don't have to rent that.
The 5 leaders, your quarterbacks, wideouts, and all them running backs and whatever, they can tell them you can't.
Yeah.
I am going to make a request for a lot of slow songs, so we're not just out there breaking it down all night.
Yeah. Are you going to be chaperoned at the dance, Coach?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I try to do my part, as a leader in the community to be there, and I got that duty starting at 6:30.
So, all right. Well, Coach, tell us about a few of your players. Brag on some of your guys there that have worked extremely hard. That are doing a great job on the field and in the classroom there for you at Holt.
Sure. So we have some really good players on our team, and like I said, it's just been night and day improvement from last year. But a couple of our seniors, we have is T.J. Harris, and he, last week he had 4 touchdowns in the first half, didn't play in the second half of last week's game, but he's a senior running back and linebacker for us, and he's now scored 2 defensive touchdowns in 2 weeks, and I think 6 offensive touchdowns. So he's just doing a phenomenal job for us. And we have another running back that is Jalen Wilson, and he ran for 187 yards on 6 carries last week and a couple touchdowns. So doing a fabulous job. And obviously, our offensive line, when you run the ball for 380 yards, your offensive line is doing some things. And we're led by John Hall, a senior, and Omar King, a junior, that are just phenomenal young men that just really lead our program and have a positive attitude every day, and they show the others what it looks like every day. So, but we have a ton of just quality, just young men and characters on our team. And like I said, I could name them all, if I wanted to, but I know we don't have time. But we just have a good group of guys that have really, just changed the attitude about Holt football around here and what it takes. I think last year we didn't know what it took. Like, we didn't know how to practice. We didn't know how to lift weights. We didn't know how to do any of that stuff. And now they know what it looks like, and they know the expectation. And so things have been changing for the positive.
All right. Well, you guys got Oak Grove tomorrow. Tell everybody kind of what time. I know GoFan probably is the way to get the ticket, but tell everybody how they can get out there and see you guys.
Okay. Yes, sir. So we're playing at the Woody Clement Stadium tomorrow at 7:00, and you can buy tickets at the gate for $10, or you can buy them on GoFan for $11. And it's homecoming. We're expecting a big crowd, and Oak Grove's got a really good team. They're 2-0. We're 2-0. First area game should be a super exciting night. We're going to, crown the homecoming king and queen at halftime. So it's going to be a really, really good night for our community, and I'm excited for our kids and the challenge we have. It's definitely going to be a good one.
Coach, good luck to you. We'll check back with you throughout the season, and we'll be checking on you guys tomorrow for homecoming. Just cut the lights on that dance about 9:00 tonight, Coach. We appreciate you. We appreciate you being on with us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having us. And as always, thank Tide 100.9 for just what you do for high school sports in Tuscaloosa. It's a blessing to be able to talk about these kids and our team. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. There's Coach Brian Newton. And honestly, if anybody can help their program out, take waters, Gatorades, gift cards to eat at places, anything there will help. These guys, and they need that field. I know there's been people here pushing for that in the community. Everybody else around has first-class facilities, and Holt deserves it as well. So get out and support those guys and take things by there. Coach Brian Newton.
Renovations. Experience the wow factor. Contact Shoot Masonry and Specialties at 205-887-3807 today and unleash your home's full potential.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by The Good Feet Store. The Good Feet Store is a proud supporter of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For over 25 years, the Good Feet Store has been helping people get back to the life they love without their feet getting in the way. Start your journey at goodfeet.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On Thursday's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we'll be joined by Alabama wide receiver Jeremy Bernard. But what made you guys so explosive?
Just the preparation that we put into it. Early in the week, we knew that it was going to be a tough game with the blitzes that they bring. So we had a tough week of practice, and then we just went out there and just executed and just being detail-oriented. That's what led us to the win.
Whether it was Jalen at quarterback in the first half or into the third quarter, Ty Simpson after that, it really all the receivers seemed like got involved. Do you love that everyone got maybe their first catch of the year, in some cases their first touchdowns too? Yeah, most definitely. I'm proud of the guys for just going out there and showing what they can do. Like I said in the last interview that I had during practice, that we had a lot of underdogs and we have a lot of people that want to prove themselves, and I feel like they did that Saturday night. I'll have more in a moment.
This is Christian Miller for the Good Feet Store. I know from playing football at Alabama and in the NFL that if you have foot, knee, hip, or back pain, it can be a huge challenge. The Good Feet Store is designed to personally fit you with arch supports that alleviate and even eliminate your pain altogether. Try them before you buy them. They're in your free, no obligation, personalized fitting, and you can wear them home the same day. So if you're looking to improve your game, the Good Feet Store has you covered. Stop in for a free, personalized fitting today. Roll to victory at goodfeet.com. That's goodfeet.com. Roll Tide.
If you missed last night's edition of Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show, catch it on demand on the Alabama Insider podcast. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The sky mostly cloudy today and tonight with periods of rain likely. The high today 84, tonight's low 67. Tomorrow cloudy and much cooler. Rain likely much of the day. The high tomorrow in the mid-70s at 75. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
You're listening to Inside the Locker Room with Wimp and Barry, only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to Inside the Locker Room. Tuscaloosa Toyota. Go to TuscaloosaToyota.com. You can look at all the inventory right there on the lot, the new inventory, the pre-owned. You want to schedule service, rent a Toyota, you can do it right there at the website. Or swing by Skyland Boulevard. We talked with Justin yesterday. These guys will set you right up. Swing by there today and tell them that Wimp and Barry sent you. Yeah, if you guys want to call in, like Abe did. Abe called in, tried to helped Dad with a blue plate and told him to take Tulane.
I'll tell you what, if I listen to Abe, I'd be sleeping.
Abe's trying to help, and he gets ridiculed. So he won't ridicule you, but I'm going to mark that down, Chase, that Tulane game.
I just told him that it was a gamble.
We're going, well, Texas A&M wasn't a gamble?
Yeah. Ask Coach Saban about that.
Coach Saban talked about the crowd. He didn't talk about how bad that quarterback was.
I did. That's who I thought would win the game was the crowd.
A lot of people did. But that crowd's just kind of swaying. They ain't playing. All right, let's get to the Tuscaloosa Toyota hotline. Get Philip in. Good morning, Philip. Philip, you got a game he needs to look at?
Yeah, I probably do.
Yeah, Philip's the one that had Alabama losing 3, and now they ain't gonna lose.
Yeah, Philip, he backtracked you yesterday. You had Alabama 9-3, and hell, you had them winning the national championship yesterday.
And you know what? It bothered me that I got weak kneed yesterday.
You did. You caved.
I did.
Well, that's what makes good radio.
You let T.J. Finley, him throwing the ball right to the other team, and now you got Alabama win the national championship.
Yeah, when I hung up, I was extremely disappointed in myself. I was. I got to stand tall, man. But anyway, I was just going to say a few things if I could. Sure. I think Fort Boston College, and I know this is an Alabama show, but I love college football, especially this 12-team thing has got me. It's just different. It's a different vibe. But what Boston College did the other night to me was, I'm not going to say better than what Tech did, but the fact that Boston College had to go to Tallahassee after they got beat in Dublin by Tech. I thought that was pretty impressive what Bill O'Brien did the other night, and they controlled that game. They whipped FSU's. They whipped FSU.
Hey, Philip.
They whipped them. Yes, sir.
Were you one of these that criticized him when he was the offensive coordinator at Alabama?
Not really, no, sir.
Oh, good. Because I was for him. I liked him.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh, they were so ugly about Bill O'Brien. They just have. Bill O'Brien's a pretty darn good coach.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he was. Not really. I did not, Coach. I thought Alabama had good offenses and didn't play good defense.
Yeah.
We
got a pile of listeners, Philip, that did.
Oh, I know it. But anyway, I'm on the Boston College bandwagon right now. They've got to go to Syracuse. They got to go to they've got to go to Virginia. They got to go to VPI. They've got to go to Dallas to play SMU. And that's it. They don't play Clemson. They don't play Miami, and they don't play Wake Forest. They've already beat Georgia Tech. So they've got a really strong shot at really doing something special, I think. But have you guys just sat back there and went and just thought about the what if? And the what if I'm talking about is, what if Tyler Buckner kind of played okay last year, sort of okay, and Alabama goes on to sort of a methodical 24-10 win over USF. Have you thought about the what if that would have happened after that?
I have. I'm trying to figure out why he started. Why did he start? Now, Jalen Milroe, let's be honest.
That's the easiest answer in the world.
He did not play well against Texas. I mean, we could say whatever. He threw the ball right to their guys. So everybody, he went on and had a great year after he was benched.
That's the easiest answer in the world.
Why? Tell me.
Well, they had a staff meeting.
Okay.
For a fact. And they felt like they knew who the starting quarterback was, but they didn't know who the second-string quarterback was. And they had a fear of the first-string quarterback getting injured and not knowing who to put in second. And when they did that, they lost the offensive and defensive line people because they got disgusted with it. And for the first time, they sort of laid down on Alabama, laid down on Coach a little bit because things didn't go good. And so they were looking for a second-string quarterback in that game. And that was their whole reasoning for doing that, and it backfired.
Did they tell Tyler Buckner in the recruiting process, if you come, we'll give you an opportunity? Is that why they started him over? They started him over Ty Simpson.
I think they wanted to see because the offensive coordinator had known him and had been with him. He wasn't as good as Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson came in. None of them played very well because the offensive and defensive line didn't play a lick. But everybody's. I'm going to tell you something. When everybody's mad at everybody, you got a hard time winning.
So, how did Coach get the team back after that? I'll tell you why he did, because the maturity of Jalen Milroe, he could have taken that whole thing down last year if he didn't handle that in a mature manner, right, guys?
Yeah. Exactly. But what I'm saying is, I'm just going back to what I'm bringing up is, what if Buckner had gone in and played okay, and Alabama pulled out an okay win, but it was a win, and then Alabama played Ole Miss the following week at home, and Alabama won 24-10, but that game was close going down to the end. And I think they'd have been in a mess.
Well, according to Dad, they didn't.
Oh no, they weren't. They're not going to change. They're not going to put in a quarterback that played well against South Florida as the starter against Ole Miss.
He's saying they were going back to Milroe anyway.
They're going back to Milroe anyway. I know that for a fact.
Well, interesting.
But think about how Milroe handled it. Now, most guys would not handle it like that. And so he basically had the team in the palm of his hand. If he wanted to handle it poorly, which he maybe had every right to do, although he didn't play great against Texas, but he was pretty mature about it, and then everybody got on board. He got them all back on board. He could have kept them all off board, right, Philip? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The linemen were the ones that immature, and you're right. If that hadn't, if Barry's right, if Milroe hadn't had some sense to him, the Ole Miss game could have been in trouble, no doubt about it. Their plans were to go back to Milroe. I just happen to know that, but it's okay. I'm not going to argue about it. It just what I understand. So.
I didn't know that information, so that's interesting to know. And so I just wondered about the what it is. But if that answers the question,
it's a good question. Ain't no doubt about it. If this guy goes in there and just tears it up, then maybe those people in that room around that desk. But I think they had a lot of confidence in Milroe, like Barry said.
Well, the question is, what did they tell Buckner in the recruiting process? I thought taking him was a mistake, personally, just because you had Ty Simpson and all those guys here. Then and Milroe, we didn't know what Milroe was at that point, and you bring this guy from Notre Dame in that started in the bowl game. I thought that was a mistake.
I will say this, Barry: the offensive coordinator talked Coach into it.
Yeah,
I say talked him into it, told him about him, and told him he thought he ought to get him because of injury. And that's what happened there. Go ahead, y'all.
Well, I think, we had Dylan Longren last year, too. And so Alabama was lucky to hold on to Longren and Simpson, I think. In my opinion, I don't know anything. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
but Alabama won. They beat Texas A&M last year by 6 with Milroe. They beat Arkansas barely by 3 with Milroe. And then they pulled out that game against Auburn there at the end last year. But I'm
not so sure Tennessee should have beat Alabama here. That game was...
Well, they did. I think they came back and tied Alabama, didn't they?
The defense saved them by giving them field goals rather than touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys realize that we only played 3 SEC teams this year that we played last year?
No, I didn't. I
didn't realize that.
I didn't realize
we played Tennessee, LSU, and Auburn.
Yeah, you keep up with it better than I do.
Abe, Philip, please, because Abe's already gave him Tulane. He's not taking that one. Please give him a game that he can win this week. I'm tired of him losing.
I've got 4 games, and I'll give you the 4.
Well, here's a game, and I have not looked at any lines or anything on this game.
Well, the lines are important, Philip. The lines very important.
I know. But this game is part of what was one of the games we're picking at work. And Michigan State at Maryland.
Yeah, that's the one that Doug picked.
Oh, God.
I missed him. I had to do something.
Doug, let me say, I'm scrolling. There's so many teams in these leagues now. It takes you forever to find a...
Doug loved that one.
I missed that.
How about Nebraska at home against Colorado? Nebraska is a 7.5 point. That half will kill you. It's a 7.5 point favorite.
I think Nebraska's going to cover that.
Yeah,
that's a gamble.
I think they're going to win by 10 or more.
Who are we talking about? Michigan State? I got Big 12. Michigan State's in the Big 10.
Michigan is playing Texas.
I'm trying to tell Philip what that line is. Rutgers playing Akron. That ain't no game. All right, Michigan State, Maryland. Maryland is an 8.5 point favorite.
At home at College Park.
Yes.
I told you the best high-scoring game. I missed my blue plate, but I told you the game that'd be the best high-scoring game, and I said Tennessee will cover the 38.5. Today, the biggest high-scoring game that will cover will be Louisville over Jacksonville at 28.
How about Oregon at home against Boise State? That game's on Peacock. Oregon's only a 19.5 point favorite. Everybody's criticizing them. They'll have on a new uniform. Maybe they.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I know in my little I adjust my playoff standings every Monday, and I've got Oregon sliding down to 12.
Because of the score.
Philip, you went from 9-3 to the national championship on one game. So
no, I didn't say that. I said we're going to be a tough out. we're going to be a tough out. I will defend myself on that.
Yeah,
I said we're going to be a tough out. And Alabama is going to be a tough out.
They are.
Ryan Williams can run, man.
He can.
He can move.
Is he going to practice or do a podcast?
That's a little concerning.
What do you think Coach Saban looked at when he saw that he and Mbakwe were taking time to do a podcast?
Well,
you think he looked at Miss Terry and said, "Gosh, I did the right thing"?
Well, what you got to be what concerns me is you got to make sure they don't say anything like, we're going to score 58 points this week. You got to. That would worry me.
Well, it ain't going to be live, so I'm sure they'll cut out whatever. Somebody's monitoring that podcast. But they went to 3 days and got 10,000 followers. I listened to it. I had nothing to do. They just talked for 17 minutes.
That shop in the stadium this weekend it's going to raise a lot of money for those athletes.
What's that?
That store in the stadium this weekend, that ML.
Yeah.
That's going to pay them all. That's going to pay the rowing team. That's going to pay all of them.
So, what can you go in there and buy some with people's number on it? They get a little bit of it.
I'm sure, yeah. But I mean, you can't imagine the cash that's going to be rolling out of there and into the NIL copper.
And the next week, both of you will be a colored picture of Coach Saban with a Saban seal, and that'll cost a fortune.
All right, let me ask you this, Philip. You live over by Georgia.
Right on it.
Now, it's illegal, I shouldn't say this, to Airbnb your house in my neighborhood. You can't do it. You can't put it up. But I got a guy that works in the athletic department at Georgia. So I could probably call him and say, hey, you got any rich families coming over to the game that want to rent a house? What, I could probably rent my house out. What could I get from my house that week? There's a lot of people coming to town that weekend.
I'd say $7,000.
How much?
You could get several $1,000.
I thought you said 30. If you said 30, they could have it for the month, huh?
You'll get several $1,000.
Could I get 5?
I would do it there.
Could I get
there,
5?
I would do it.
Could I get 5?
Yeah, I would do it.
5's not near enough.
Could I get 8?
You get 10.
I don't think you can get that.
10. I got 4 bedrooms, so they could be 4 couples. If they got a hotel room, hey, I let them come in on Thursday.
Yeah, you got a cleanup. You got a cleanup fee now, $10,000 plus a cleanup fee.
Oh no! One guy just text me 1,800. 1,800 ain't no way. I can get 5 times that. 1,800. I would.
Yeah.
So,
you want me to tell you what you ought to do?
What's that?
Rent the hell out of it.
But I can't. So I got to call my boy that works in the athletic department, saying, "Now look, I need a trustworthy family. They can't be coming over there, going crazy in the neighborhood." And then I'll just slip on over to Jenny's mom's house. And,
be sure they don't have a Georgia tag.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got to park at Publix.
Well, look, hey, just do like Coach Saban does in that commercial. Tell them not to use the grill. Tell them not to get in the pool.
Don't get in the pool.
Just go eat. Just go inside and go to bed.
Now, I'm going to have a problem if DirecTV, I'm going to have to they won't want to watch ESPN.
Get that.
That's a rally killer. That is a rally killer
I'll get YouTube TV for the weekend.
People, I got news for you. People are going to be renting out their places.
I think you could get 10,000 for a 4-bedroom. That'd be $2,500 a couple. That's a pretty good deal. You come to Tuscaloosa, have a nice house. You can cook out and hang out. And
Barry, you might could get more. You can't even stay in the Hampton Inn for that.
There we go. All right, just thinking out loud. If you're in my neighborhood and you listen to the show, you didn't hear that. Thank you, Philip.
Well, hey, y'all can go live with Gary Harris for the weekend, and then you can do that.
Gary.
You don't make enough money to do that.
Yeah, Gary's too picky. And Gary comes in here like if the studio's not perfect, he starts throwing things and slinging chairs around. I had to get on him the other day. Will Taylor Swift be at the game tonight, Philip?
No.
Oh, Lordy. Probably.
Yeah. Well, they're saying
that's
yeah.
That's enough. That's just
Would you want to? Yep. And then tomorrow you got the Packers and the Eagles, and they're playing in Brazil. Like, who wants to go to Brazil to play a football game?
That girl that made Taylor Swift over again, cut on her real good to be there.
All right. Thank you, Philip.
Y'all was good.
Sorry. 10,000? You think Chase 10,000? Is that a good number? Now, one room's got bunk beds in it, but
10,000, you're gonna be rich.
Townspeople place blowing up now. Yeah. All right, let's tell them about Bryant Bank, Deb, before we get to break.
Well, Bryant Bank is an absolute wonderful bank to go to. I got one right below my house. There are a lot of them in the city of Birmingham. A couple of them down the street from me. One of them Columbiana when I go that way. Naturally, the banks that they're in Tuscaloosa. And a lot of our listening audience need a banking account. And if you do, go by Bryant Bank and visit with them, and you'll find that they'll be very helpful to you. The people that work for your head banker there will know exactly how to help you in every way that they can. They'll be darn sure that your money is safe, which is important. You can bank online all night if you wish, and bank whenever you need to, write the checks that you need to, drive through if you need to go and want a drive-through deal, just drive right through there and get done what you need to get done. So go by Bryant Bank, tell them that you heard these words on Inside the Locker Room and that you're interested in trying to check it out, and I think that you'll find that you'll be very, very satisfied.
Guy tell me there's no way you can get 5K. 5K would be easy. That's what is that? By 4 people divided by 4 couples. That's nothing. You pay way over that at these hotels. And you can't even get a hotel. You have to stay in Birmingham. Come with this game. You know how many people going to be in town for that game? They got so many recruits coming in for that game. It's going to be crazy. 205-342-9904 if you want to give that a blue plate special, or if you want to tell me how much you think I can get for my house, and let me know. This is Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM. WTBC is the home of Alabama sports.
Weekday mornings at 6 a.m. The Martin Houston Show.
Join the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. It's a free-for-all Friday powered by the pharmacy at Midtown. We'll take your calls, your thoughts, your reactions, and don't forget to get your scores in as we have the Alabama Legacy Collection Score Prediction Contest with Jalen Milroe, total yards as a tiebreaker. We'll have those conversations and more right here on your home for Alabama sports. It is the Martin Houston Show, powered by Box Eye Care.
Catch the Martin Houston Show from 6 to 7 weekday mornings on Tide 100.9.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Seeing a little trouble on 2059 right now. Actually, this is on the southwest lane at 359. You do have this accident. It's got traffic a little on the slower side. And slow goes continue on 359 in the southbound lanes to Skyland Boulevard. And also watch out for just intersection slow goes here on McFarland at Lurleen Wallace, which is typical. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Tammy Thomas.
Road tripping, business travel, or bringing your car in for repairs. All great reasons to rent a Toyota at Tuscaloosa Toyota. You can rent the latest Toyota models for a day, a week, or a weekend. Every Toyota rental car comes with 24 hours roadside
interviews, all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Alabama fans are all over the world, and we are too. Download the Tide 100.9 app right now in the App Store and Google Play, and take the Crimson Tide everywhere you go.
Welcome back to Inside the Locker. Now, Wyatt just sent out about the score prediction. Why? We normally pick 10 games. They have 10 games you pick, and then the tiebreaker is the score prediction. But whatever. Dad, we did get an app message. The people are trying to help. And so the app message came from Dothan, Alabama. Joe in Dothan says Tennessee to cover against NC State is a blue plate lock. Exclamation point. Tennessee to cover is a. So they've given you Tennessee today.
I've already
I already had that as one of my 4.
And they have given you Tulane today. And who else did Abe say take?
I don't want neither one of Abe's.
What was Abe? He had somebody else. I can't remember.
I don't know, but I don't want them.
All right, we will let you do it tomorrow. But those lines could wiggle now. What are the
exactly? That's the reason I'm waiting until the cotton ticket
but it
tomorrow.
could
Now,
it could go the other way.
I got 4 games.
But it could go the other way. It could go.
I got 4 games.
But I'm saying it could not wiggle in your favor.
Of course it could.
It could
go the other way. You're exactly right.
So, do you want to tell us what 4 games you're looking at?
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you what 4 games I'm looking at.
All right. Which ones are you studying? We know you're taking the underdog.
I'm looking at I'm looking at Louisville versus Jacksonville State. It's 28. Actually, it's 5 games. I'm looking at Tennessee at 7.5. May have gone to 8.5. 7.5 right now against NC State.
I think it's 8.5.
I'm taking Auburn with the 13 versus California, and I'm taking Nebraska. Not Nebraska. Pardon me. I'm not taking Nebraska. I'm taking Oklahoma. I'm not taking any of these. I got to pick one from these.
These ones you're studying.
It's 29. And I don't care what JC said. The 5th one I would look at. I would take Texas. I don't know. I think it moved up 7.5, 8.5, whatever it is. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I had a guy that was pounding me last Saturday about South Carolina and Old Dominion. The line was 19, so I text JC and said, this guy wants to know. He's wanting to load up on South Carolina. He said, don't touch it. And
I ain't wanting no South Carolina, Kentucky.
No, you can't because you just don't know what these teams are going to do.
That's a gamble.
Yeah,
my games are not gambles.
Oh, your games are not gambles. All right, sure. All right, what's up, Tom?
Barry, why did you cut me off?
I didn't. I told you I don't know what happened. The phone. I told you to call back.
I know. Well, I am, but Coach, Barry's mistreated me, cut me off this morning because I was talking about his
I had a
buddy
guy just send me a message and said that he got $5,000 for his house for graduation. So surely George is more important than graduation.
I had a lady text me. I think it was a lady. No, it was a lady. And she said she wouldn't let she wouldn't take $10,000 somebody sleep in her beds.
Well,
I agree with her, but I tell you what, my sister did for the race twice a year at Talladega. She would rent out her lake house, and it was 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, and all that kind of stuff. Very nice place, and she got $5,000 each race for renting her house out.
Yeah,
I rent mine upstairs, but I don't want to turn the air conditioner on.
Well, now, the government, if you'll take in the immigrants that's coming across the border, if you'll take the family in your house up there, the government will pay you real good money for that. Now, you can make some money like that, Coach.
Well, I tell you what, I got one for the people to let them come in. I got a house for them.
I'm gonna say, guys, you could have a house. You can have the house. It's $10,000. Yeah. You just don't. You're not going to get ESPN. But other than that,
I got me a house for that one. Is wanting them to come in.
Hey, I was going to tell y'all something. Somebody told me, and I was going to see if y'all knew anything about it and verify it.
All right.
I heard that Coach Bill Belichick worked with Bill O'Brien in Boston College through the fall camp and was on the sidelines at the game the other night.
I don't know about that because they didn't show him.
Oh, I think that would have been real newsworthy if that had happened.
Yeah, that had been all up. They've been showing him and his girlfriend, young girlfriend, 24.
Wait a minute, Barry. You always got to go for this malicious type news.
Well, he does. He's bragging about it. He got a 24-year-old girlfriend. He's 70-something.
She's 24?
I called in with some information, and you turned it into a dirty old man show.
No, it wasn't. I just stating facts.
She's 24?
24. You think she's dating him for his money or his looks, Tom?
Neither one.
Oh, that's Do I have to answer that one?
All right.
But anyway, I thought I'd pass that along. I thought that was pretty interesting. Oh, yeah, I was going to tell y'all something else. Philip.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, but it's not true.
Poo-Poo, some information I gave him yesterday, and him and all his buddies made fun of me. But do you realize that the BCS matrix is called the MADI? Have you ever heard of that?
The what?
It's the MADI. They take these formulas and formulate and project where you might finish and all this kind of stuff according to the BCS formula. They got, according to them, they jumped Alabama up to number 2 in power ratings in the BCS matrix, and they also projected Alabama to go 12-0.
Yeah, I saw it was that On 3? On 3?
I can't remember where I saw it. It might have been an excerpt that somebody sent me or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the source, but I do know that the formula, I'm familiar with that because of a guy that used to come on radio here a lot, and he worked for ESPN, and he kind of formulated all that stuff. And so I was kind of familiar with how that works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, will you give that a game tomorrow, Tom? Will you study for him? He needs some
Good God, no. I barely can turn on the TV. This is John Q. Fan you're talking to.
Thank you, Tom.
See you, Tom.
All right. I tried to get Scott Cochran on the show, but either I got the wrong number or he's not returning my text. So I don't know. I'm trying to make sure I got the right. Maybe Gary's got the number. I'll see if I'm texting somebody. But I saw he was in town. But he ain't returned my text. Coach, if you're listening.
A lot of speaking.
He's doing a lot of speaking. He just ain't returning my text. I got to make sure I got the right number, though. I got it from a guy that said it was an old number that is real close with Coach Saban. So hopefully I did ask him if Coach Saban was enjoying working with McAfee. And I'm not going to tell you what he said. Anyway, I think he is. That's it for today's show. We're going to get out of here. We kind of went past that break, so we'll double these breaks up here at the end and let you hear Gary Harris. So tomorrow, we got the Blue Plate special. We're looking at 4 games. Maybe Abe will convince Dad to take Tulane. It doesn't sound like it. JC poo-pooed the South Carolina one on me, so I don't know. I may pick one tomorrow as well. And tell Wyatt we got to pick 10 games, not just one score for the score prediction. That's not the prediction. You listen to Tide 100.9. It's the home of Alabama sports. Have a great day, everybody.
Go inside the Alabama Crimson Tide with the Gary Harris Show.
Hey, it's Gary Harris. Thursday morning at 9 a.m. on the Gary Harris Show, Coach Ellis Johnson breaks down the upcoming SEC football schedule for this weekend. And my pal Jeff Spiegel, sports anchor and host of The Zone at ABC 3340, will check in. Your phone calls and more. That's Thursday morning at 9 a.m. on the Gary Harris Show.
Catch the Gary Harris Show Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. on Tide 100.9 and Tide100.9.com.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Seeing a little trouble on 2059 right now. Actually, this is on the southwest lane at 359. You do have this accident. It's got traffic a little on the slower side. And slow goes continue on 359 in the southbound lanes to Skyland Boulevard. And